it's been devastating, the impact of the opioid crisis on all parts of it, especially this community. It's as high up. We got as much money, actually a lot more than some other communities, so obviously there was a need here that was focused on. And you know, we're not alone here in Ontario or Canada. I noticed the American administration just recently called it a crisis and called a national crisis of the opioid abuse, and they're going to focus a lot of resources on it. So when the American media and the American government start who occupy the TV and media, when they start talking about it every day on a positive basis that we're going to combat it, that'll certainly bring the attention to the Ontario and Canadian population as well. So I'm glad to see that we're going to start distributing Naxalone kits throughout Ontario, because there's many first responders that can be exposed to this opioid, fentanyl, others, because when they just go to a scene of a crime or an injury, an overdose, whatever. So I look forward to that. I applaud that. So I know the Ontario government's going to establish an opioid emergency task force, which will be province-wide with representation from all frontline workers. So I applaud that, but I'm especially happy about the recent announcements for Sarnia, Lambton.
And I guess at the end of the day, what we're looking at, this is a situation where it sort of comes under addiction, and helping people with addiction, knowing it's not as easy just to say, smarten up. There is, you know, professional help that is needed.
Yeah, exactly, because, you know, a lot of these either become from a sports injury or a workplace incident. People are put on pain medication, and you know, one of the things I have heard is that they're really going to work with the doctors and the pharmacists, who are the original, you know, the gatekeepers, and can really control access to these dangerous drugs. I mean, which have got a good use initially, but we need to make sure people aren't oversubscribed or don't have access to these. And is there other alternatives that can possibly be used? Yeah, it's you know, it's one of those things. Society creates a drug or a product that can have a lot of good to it, but we also see, you know, once organized crime and people with less than stellar reputations get a hold of this stuff, and they do other things with it.